I try to, find, new people to bring them on, like I said, that, have been in this field, because I can't bring all the perspectives, you know what I'm saying? You gotta
Right.
hear it from other people, on their, trials and tribulations, so to speak, or, whatever process they had to do to get into the field. Can't just be, my experience. That's one of the reasons I do these tech talks. But nah, Devin, man, I'm excited to have you in here. First thing I like to do is go down and let you introduce yourself and give people a little bit about what you do in the IT field.
Certainly. Well, first, again, thank you for having me on. It's an honor to be here. My name is Davin Jackson. I'm also known as DJax Alpha on Twitter. I am a blogger and content creator, first and foremost, for my own company, Alpha Cybersecurity, also the YouTube channel, Alpha Cybersecurity. I talk about different things from, starting your career in cybersecurity, explaining how to set up your own lab. And I also talk about a couple things, book reviews, my take on trainings and stuff like that. I'm also a security architect and a penetration tester for a fintech company that basically handles handing out doing loans for and financing for people looking to get like home renovations or medical procedures.
So if someone was trying to get into the IT field as far as cybersecurity goes, or in those type of positions, where do you think they should start?
I always say make sure you have a basic understanding of networking before you jump into security, especially if you're going to do pen testing, because things with pen testing kind of just move on the fly. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can do and read and study and have little notes, or something like the Red Team Field Manual, which is a bunch of notes of commands. But it's really helpful when you have a basic understanding of networking. So understand the basics of subnetting, understanding TCP/IP ports, understanding the difference of TCP versus UDP, and why they're different, because that will help you when you move into pen testing and you need to understand certain things like scanning, or you're trying to trace any packets with like Wireshark or TCP dumping. You need to understand what's happening, what's the difference between a SYN and a SYNAC and in an ACK, all of that stuff. So understanding the basics of networking is definitely highly recommended for me, in my opinion. And then from there, you can take something like a Security Plus, just to kind of get the basics of security. And then from there, you can look at other certifications like, the CE, then you do the CEH. And I actually have a different approach when it comes to how I tell people to do their stuff. I say you usually want to focus on those three. If you already have a basic understanding of everything else, you want to get those three to start. And then after that, to me, I don't think you really need to spend too much money for a good maybe 6 months or so, because then you can build up, your own home lab and get that hands-on experience. Because in pen testing, it's great to have the certifications, but if you don't have the skills, you won't make it past the first or second interview, or you'll stay at a junior level and you really won't get the payday that that people talk about when joining this field. So after the CEH, focus on getting your hands-on experience. Then you could look at something like the Pen Test Plus, which I know people kind of cringe when they talk about CompTIA certs, but I feel like the Pen Test Plus is definitely a good certification to get. And then again, as you're doing that, you're still getting your hands on, and then look at something like the OSCP or the GPen from SANS.
Since you brought up something like very key or whatever, and I kind of wanted to get into it later, but let's hit it now. Home lab.
Yeah.
How important is it having a home lab?
Whether it's a home lab or you set up a lab in the cloud, or you set up whatever, you have to have a lab. You have to. It's very crucial, because again, not to knock the CEH, but the CEH doesn't really teach you the hands-on skills. I know they have the CEH practical. So since I took it when I think it was like version 9 when I took it, it's improved tremendously. So I'm not trying to knock them, right? I love EC Council, but the CEH at this point for the pen testers, it's not a certification they get where it's kind of like, oh, you got the CEH, okay, yeah, you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
The CEH is more for the companies, because a lot of companies require the CEH.
Yeah.
So, the CEH gets you, like I said, like I tell people, anybody I mentor, anybody I talk to, the CEH gets your foot in the door. Your knowledge gets you the job, but your skills is what's going to pay your bills.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
You can have the book knowledge, you can have the CEH, but until you really know how to do, SQL injection, or how to, be able to determine which vulnerabilities or anything like that, you're going to be stuck, right? So you have to get that practice, and unfortunately, you can't practice in the real world because you go to jail.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So the lab is crucial for building up your skill set. And again, like I said, it's free. I mean, you don't have to spend a dime outside of what you pay regularly for your internet service and whatever. You can go on, you can download VirtualBox or VM for that matter, for the free version. And then you can go on sites like PhoneHub and download your own VMs and just hack to your heart's content. You can go on Try Hack Me. You can go on Hack the Box. There's the Pen Tester Lab. I'm trying to remember. I don't want to leave nobody out. Practical Pen Testing, Pen Tester Academy. There's so many different resources, Over the Wire. There's so many different resources that will teach you different things. And I recommend touching all of them, get all of them, because VulnHub is really good, but VulnHub's mainly Linux machines. So it's not going to prepare you for a Windows environment. Hack the Box has Windows and Linux, but sometimes those might be a little too advanced for you. Try Hack Me is great. To me, Try Hack Me is ahead of the curve right now, because they're literally building you up. You can follow certain steps to build yourself up. So you have to have that lab. You have to know it. Otherwise, you're gonna be stuck out there. And I'm not gonna lie, I was one of them when I first got the CEH. I was like, I made it.
Yeah.
You can't tell me nothing, right? And I did a little bit of it. I did a little bit of experimenting and labbing. So I was like, I knew that. Plus, I know some web app stuff. You couldn't tell me nothing. And then like the first real difficult challenge I got, I was working as a junior pen tester. It was I was pretty much on my own, and I was stuck. It was like, all right, so maybe I'm not as golden as I thought I was.